In today's video, I'm going to tell you my top 5 drugstore foundations as well as do a major drugstore foundation purge. Hey everyone, this is Lisa. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Lisa Monique, where we cover all things lifestyle and beauty for the over 50 women. Before I get started, I do have a sponsored video from City Beauty. They are having their pre-Black Friday sale and it starts today. It is my favorite time of year with the pre-Black Friday, Black Friday, and Cyber Monday sales. And so right now, City Beauty is having their buy one, get one on the City Lips and Beyond Mascara. So my two absolute favorite products, I use these every single day, day after day, week after week, year after year. And I'm just going to talk about them quickly. Okay, so the pre-Black Friday sale dates are November 10th through November 17th. And again, it's buy one, get one. You put 2 items in your cart. You can mix and match. And then put my code, Lisa M. BOGO, B-O-G-O. Put my code in the promo code section before you check out, and you will get credited for one of them. You just put a thin layer on, and it stays on. When I put it on before I go to bed, I wake up with it still on in the morning. Just a nice, light coat. Very moisturizing. It does come in colors, and my favorite 3, the same 3 I talk about every time you see me talk about City Lips. Nude, no, this one is not New York. This is San Diego. I'll put them on. We'll just put them on. So San Diego is clear, cool, with gold highlights. So I put this over my mauves and my pink shades. This is a cool topper. Or if I have some brownish shade that is just too brown for me, I will top it off with a little bit of pink. Okay, Nude York is the warm shade with the gold highlights. Oh, this is so pretty for the fall. Again, these you can use alone or you can use on top of your lipstick. And I use it to tone down shades that are a little too pink. And then my favorite, which is what I'm wearing today, to use alone is the Plum Springs. Now they have a lot of other shades. I just stick with things that I like. So this one adds just a little bit of color and a little bit of shimmer. So I really like this shade, especially, wearing these type of fall colors. I don't have the rest of my makeup on, so I just have my eyeliner and now my Plum Springs. Okay, so let's go to the mascara. This is an old mascara. Maybe I should open a new one. No, I'm going to use an old one. So this one is a couple of months old. It is at its end of life, but let me just show you how good it is at end of life still. I like it because it doesn't get super clumpy on the brush. Maybe I'll do one new one on one eye and this end of life one. I just barely tap it on and then I go through and brush it through. So the initial tap is just to make sure I'm getting the mascara on the tips, and then I do the same underneath. And one coat gives me my normal day-to-day application. But I am going to open a new Beyond Mascara because, like I said, that one is end of life. This is my last new one in my stash, though, so I have to order some more with the sale. Brand new brush. Get it right on the tips first, and then brush it through. And then put it underneath. Okay, so what I love about Beyond Mascara is it really darkens my lashes from the base to the tips. It thickens them, especially if I do 2 coats, and it lasts and does not sweat or smear off during the day. I can go out in the garden, I can be working, I can be sweating, and I'm not going to have mascara running underneath my eyes. I'm not gonna have little black specks underneath my eyes. It just really lasts all day. And the other thing that I especially love about it is my lashes are not stiff. I was finding as I got a little bit older that some of these thickening, lengthening mascaras made my lashes really stiff. And then as I was blinking, it took me a while to figure this out. By the end of the day, my rims were red and it kind of hurt to blink. And so what was happening is my mascara was getting stiff, and it was actually just kind of, you know, even though it was just a soft, barely noticeable rub, you know, as time went by, it really irritated the rim of my eyelashes. So I had to make sure that I am using a soft mascara, one that leaves my lashes really soft and flexible. And Beyond Mascara is it. So again, buy one, get one, mix and match. I always have extras in my bathroom because I don't want to run out. This is the time to stock up. There is not going to be a better price on these two products this Christmas season. Buy one, get one. That's like getting 50% off. It is the best bargain. So if you need to stock up or give some stocking stuffers or gifts, then go ahead and do it now. The pre-Black Friday sale runs from November 10th through November 17th. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll start with the foundation Purge, and then I will tell you which foundations I'm keeping, which kind of tells you my top 5. So let's go ahead and get started. I have several bins like this with my drugstore foundations. Let's start purging. Okay, first one I'm going to purge is the Flower Light Illusion Foundation. I mean, this one was fine. It's SPF 18. It was never a really good shade for me. And in fact, a lot of my drugstore foundations that I'm purging are because they do have limited shades. They don't have the variety that you find in a lot of the other brands, like the ones that are sold at Sephora, some of the higher end brands. And even if it does have, let's say 40 different shades, many of these, you can't find them in the drugstore to test. Like they might only have the first 8 shades, the lighter shades, and then they'll say more shades available online. Well, if I wanted to shop online, I'd shop online, but I'm in the store because I want to buy foundations in the store. And so that's kind of what the difficulty I find with drugstore foundations. Having said that, I always keep my receipt at the drugstore. I usually buy at Target, Walmart, CVS, or Walgreens, and all of them in the US will take returns. So if the shade doesn't match, I will bring it back. I honestly don't really remember much about it except it just didn't look good on me. The shade did not look good on me. Okay, Milani, the Perfect 2-in-1 foundation and concealer. I know a lot of people love this one. Warm beige was not the best shade for me. I think it was just a little bit heavier than the foundations that I tend to wear day to day. And when I go for a full cover foundation from the drugstore, I have other ones that I like better. So I'm not keeping the Milani 2-in-1. Maybelline Superstay Skin Tint. This one's pretty new. I almost feel like I should keep it just as a comparison foundation because it is new and it is in a somewhat close shade, but it's actually, I think, a little dark for me. I can't even remember. It wasn't a really good shade, but I do have a little more color on my skin right now. I did not like this, so I would normally toss it, but I may keep it just as a comparison type product. ColourPop Pretty Fresh. I really liked the ColourPop Pretty Fresh. This is available at Ulta, and it was a hyaluronic hydrating foundation. It looked really nice. It had very nice coverage. This shade is too light, so I purchased this. Plus, it's pretty old. I purchased this when I started my channel. And my skin tone was a lot lighter. It was before we had our place in Florida. Yeah, so this is a medium 80W. Yeah, this one was good. I would consider buying it again, especially if I needed to do another comparison video. They did have a good shade range, but this one is too light. NYX Can't Stop, Won't Stop Full Coverage Foundation. This is a this is a good full coverage foundation. I almost feel like I should keep it again as a comparison foundation. It is full coverage. It can go on heavy. So you do want to make sure your skin is really hydrated. It does last a good long time. It is a decent full coverage foundation. Not one of my top 5, but it is decent. Morphe number 2, available at Target. This was terrible. I don't even need to explain. I did not like that at all. Oh, I like this one. I love this one. I think this one's discontinued. This is the Physicians Formula, the Healthy Foundation. And this is an MW2. I'm going to check, but I'm pretty sure they discontinued this, which was too bad because I really liked the finish. It was nice, luminous, but not glowy. But it was like a healthy, moisturized, natural skin foundation. I think you sometimes can still find it like on Amazon or something like that, but I don't know how old it is because, again, I'm pretty sure that one was discontinued. Flower Get Real Serum Foundation, terrible. Didn't have any coverage for me. Yeah, these skin tints really don't do anything. They aren't strong enough or enough coverage to even out my skin tone, so why put them on? So, okay, the NYX Total Control Drops. I really never figured out. It's a drop foundation. These do have a lot of pigment, and these are good mixers. So if you have foundations that are too light, you might get one that's a shade or two darker, or just to kind of, if they're too warm and you're trying to cool it down, they are good mixers. You just need to add 1 drop, and I'd mix it on the back of my hand or in a little tray. This one is called Classic Tan. I think this is actually a good shade for me. I might keep that just as a mix. Look at this. I have another NYX Can't Stop, Won't Stop. I must have done it in 2 different shades. Yeah, so I have a lighter shade and a darker shade. Again, we'll just hold on to those. Here's my little NYX, the dark shade that I use as a mixer. I don't really mix foundations because I have so many, and I kind of have them in a variety of shades going lighter to darker, so I almost feel like I can always find something in my stash that matches my skin tone today. Oh, I like this. Oh no, I didn't. Okay, here's another one everybody loves. Yeah, everybody loves this. It's the L'Oreal True Match Hydrating Tinted Serum. It is a lightweight foundation. I probably would recommend this to someone that wants just a teeny bit of coverage, just a little bit of evening their skin tone. This is not my favorite. This is shade 6-7. So, you know, the shades go 1-2, 2-3, 3-4, 4-5. 4-5 was too light for me. This is 6-7, so it's hard to find a good shade. It's supposed to be a tint, so your own skin tone comes through, but I'm trying to even out hyperpigmentation, so it doesn't do a whole lot. This is fairly new though, so I'm going to keep it just as a comparison foundation. Here's one, Revolution IRL Filter, an F12. This is a new foundation for me too. I never wear it. It's an oil-free. I found it just a little bit drying, and again, you need to really prep your skin. It says it's a breathable, soft matte. It does have more coverage if you need coverage. I'm not as fond of matte foundations, so there are just other ones that I pick instead. Believe foundation. I liked this. It was a medium coverage foundation. They sell it at like either the dollar store or Dollar General, one of those dollar foundations. It's very inexpensive. It's a skin-like finish, medium to full coverage. It actually was pretty. I had a video 2 years ago when I did a full face of Believe makeup. It didn't stand out. It didn't give me that total soft, silky smooth finish that I love. So I didn't really wear it. So now it's 2 years old, so it's going. Probably won't repurchase. All right, let's go into my little pot foundations. This is the Maybelline Dream Matte Mousse Foundation. I've purchased this a couple of times. Ugh, I don't like it. It's just a mess. It's a mess to put on. Hard to find a good shade. Same thing on the L'Oreal Tinted balm, 4-in-1 tinted balm. I've purchased this, threw it away, did not like it. Everyone said they loved it, so I repurchased 2 of them. Again, if you have beautiful skin and you're looking for more just moisture and a little tiny bit of smoothing, like you don't really need coverage, you might like these. I did not like them. I'm going to keep them just again as comparison type foundations. It's hard to find me a good color. Hard for me to find a good color. Let me just say that. Okay, so I have a medium. This is a 10 medium, which is probably good for me now. And this is a 20 medium, which is definitely way dark. Same token, I purchased these, threw them out, repurchased them because Tamara from Tamara's Timeless Beauty said it was her favorite, I believe. And it's the CoverGirl Plus Olay Simply Ageless Foundation. And I have 245 Warm Beige and 260 Classic Tan. Again, it does nothing for me. I purchased them, tossed them. I'm gonna toss them again. Repurchase them to do a video. Yeah, tossing them again. e.l.f. Gosh, I think with drugstore foundations, because they are a lower price point, I toss them quicker, and then somebody says they love them, so I repurchase them, and then I really don't love them. So, and that is the way I feel about the e.l.f. Camo Powder Foundation. The shades just do not work for me. I had it. I thought it was terrible. It was awful. So many people said they loved it, and I'm like, okay, do you really love it? I don't know. It's a very powdery finish on me. It doesn't buff in well compared to other powder foundations that I do like. The shades, very difficult for me to find a shade. This is like way yellow, and I am not a fan. So this is a medium 355W. Toss it. Oh, here's another one. Medium 310 Cool. 310C. I mean, gosh, they almost look the same. So this one's cool, and this one's warm. 355 warm. I mean, they look exactly the same, which are dry, cakey, and powdery on me. So, toss. Fallible Foundation, L'Oreal. Yeah. Their powder foundations, I have not found a drugstore powder foundation. This is a viral product, so I'm going to keep it because it was viral in case I forget why I didn't like it. On first glance or whatever, if you use it light enough, it does provide quick coverage and it kind of knocks out a little bit of shine, but it just is not a beautiful finish. I have to work at it to make it look really nice and silky on my skin. Just not a big fan. I'll say the same thing about the L'Oreal Age Perfect one. So they're both their powder foundations. Actually, I'm just going to toss them both. Color range is not good either. I have the 260 Golden Sun, and I don't even know what shade this one is. I don't reach for them. I don't like them. I'm tossing. This is a high-end foundation in my drugstore foundation bin. All right, these are like my tube of foundation. e.l.f. Camo CC Cream. This is supposed to be a dupe for the IT Cosmetic CC Cream. I cannot stand it. It is thick and heavy, I feel, and you really have to shear it out. CC Cream, thick and heavy. Or the Camo CC Cream, e.l.f. Cosmetics, same. So, let's see, what else do I have in here? Oh, this one was fine. This is the Almay Ageless Smart Shade Foundation. I have 400 beige. Not a whole lot of coverage. Yeah, not a whole lot of coverage. And that's all I can say about it. Was it one that goes on gray? Yeah, so it's one that kind of goes on gray. I am going to keep it because I do want to do a dupe with it. It reminds me of the Charlotte Tilbury, which I do love. Their Healthy Skin Moisturizer, which goes on gray and tint. So I was going to keep that as a dupe video. All right, here's one. CoverGirl Clean Fresh Skin Milk. Oh my gosh, this was awful. It smelled terrible. The coverage was terrible. I did not like anything about this Skin Milk foundation. Number 7, Protect and Perfect. I think I like this. It was SPF 50. I think it reminded me of the Estee Lauder Futurist Foundation. I think I'm going to keep it in case I do a dupe video. Oh, maybe this one. This one is supposed to be, everyone says it's the dupe for that one. It's the L'Oreal Age Perfect Radium Serum Foundations. I would toss them, but I need to test them for that dupe video. Colors, not so good. This is 120 Almond, very dark. This is 70 Sand. This one's too light. I guess I could mix them. Yeah, it's hard for me to get a good shade range. Okay, I was going to toss the Infallible Pro Matte Foundation. This is a dupe for a higher end one. Another one that I don't like, the higher end version. I hope I might have tossed it out. I guess I should see. But it reminds me of the NARS Pro Matte. There is another matte foundation in a tube, very similar. Shade range, not so good for me. It is heavier, 108. The matte foundations are more drying. They show more fine lines and wrinkles, so not one of my favorites, but I think I'll hold on to it. It's not that the shade isn't going to be good for me, but it just looks old. It's thick, and it's not a healthy full coverage. Because I guess because it's the matte, it's yeah, don't like it. Toss it. I liked this. This is the Ulta Beauty Complexion Crush Medium Coverage Foundation. Yeah, I liked this. Ooh, this color's not good for me though. Tan Natural. Yeah, but see, even though it's Tan Natural, which looked too dark, I don't know if you can see that. To me, yeah, this is really pretty. It still looks like skin. It doesn't look like I have this thick, heavy cream on. So yeah, I still like this. Not my top 5, but I'm going to keep it. All right, so over here, I've been putting aside ones that I like, but let me pick 5 of them to be my top 5. All right, here's another one I like. It's also at Ulta. It's their Essence Pretty Natural Hydrating Foundation, 110 Cool Beige. Not very many shades. I will say, hard to find a good shade. First time I bought it, I hated it. It's a hydrating foundation. Yeah, the shade is terrible. I'm going to toss it because the shade is terrible. It's way too light. It's almost white and pasty. So it is very skin-like. It dries down nicely. Yeah, so I do like the Essence Pretty Natural. The shade is too light. It's always going to be too light for me. So, all right, let's look at my strong contenders. This would be my, if I had a top 10, these would be in my top 10. Maybelline Superstay Foundation. Actually, it's a 30-hour. It's a full coverage. This is in 310. This is not a good shade for me. I take that back. I'm actually going to toss this one. It does last for a long time, but I don't think it's better than these other ones that I like better. Okay, one being the L'Oreal Infallible. If somebody needs a full coverage foundation from the drugstore, the L'Oreal Infallible is the one that I think is closest to the Estee Lauder Double Wear. So I have a 460 and a 475. Has a nice shade range. I think 475 probably will match me better right now. 460 was probably before I got a little sun on my face. Yeah, so I do like the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear. Not my top 10, but it's kind of up there. What else? Oh, Maybelline. I still do have a Maybelline. These are old though. I need to throw these out and repurchase. None of these are a good shade for me. It is the Maybelline Fit Me line. So they have their matte line and their dewy smooth line. Of course, I prefer a dewier finish. So that would be the one I would say was my favorite. But the matte and poreless is beautiful too. So I've got 235, 315, and 330. I think 315 is probably the closest to me right now. This one is way too light, which is the 235, and the 330 is way too dark. Yeah, so I would go with the 315 right now. In fact, maybe that would be the one I keep, and I'll toss these other ones. Okay, we're getting close to my top 5. So the next 2, which are up there, but they're not my faves, are the L'Oreal Color Stay, the normal to dry skin. This is in $3.95. Again, full coverage foundation. It has a natural finish, which I like the natural finish. This is not a really good shade. It's a little light for me. Again, I just have a hard time finding the right shades. So $3.95, called Deep Honey. This is for normal to dry skin. Let me just check it on the back of my hand. I mean, Deep Honey is not that deep. I mean, you would think it sounds like it'd be really dark, but it's not. I don't know why I'm keeping it, because it's not a good shade, maybe to remember what shade I don't like. But it is a pretty foundation. The coverage is beautiful. But even dewier, their Revlon Illuminance Skin Caring Foundation with 5% squalane. This one is a dewy foundation. So this is in shade 405. Okay, so you know what? $3.95 is going to be too light. I'm going to toss it. I don't want to keep something that's too light just to keep. So 405 is, is my shade. I can just tell by looking at it. Much better shade for me. This one I feel it did get really dewy. It got a little dewier. If you have oily skin, I'm not sure if the Luminance one would be the one you like, but if you have really dry skin, this is a really nice, fuller coverage. It's a medium coverage foundation. I'll say that. I don't feel like it's super heavy or matte, but medium coverage. And then here's another one I really like, but it doesn't have a very good shade range. Neutrogena. It is their Healthy Skin Liquid Makeup. And I have the darkest shade, which is Natural Tan 100, or at least the darkest shade that I find at the drugstore. This is really pretty. And this shade actually is my shade, but if you have skin any darker than mine, you won't find a shade. But it's very natural, very healthy, looks like just nicely moisturized skin. It is a light medium coverage, so it will even out my hyperpigmentation, but it's not too heavy. So I really do like this one. It's probably, if I had to rank my foundations, this would be my number 6. Okay, so now we're at my top 5. The L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow. Again, not a huge shade range. I have the 208 and 209. They're almost interchangeable. It is sheer. This is a light medium foundation. Beautiful finish, very healthy looking, feels very similar. I did this comparison a couple years ago to my La Mer foundation, my $120, now I think it's $135 foundation. I felt the Pro Glow was the closest as to the finish. It's a very silky feeling finish. Here's another one that I liked. This is the NYX Born to Glow. One of my viewers, Chantel, recommended it. It's her favorite. I really do like it. My shade is medium olive. It also is a light medium coverage, so it does even out my skin tone, even out my hyperpigmentation. It is a really moisturized, leaves your skin feeling really nice and moisturized. So this is number 4 for my top 5, the NYX Born to Glow for drugstore foundations. Number 3, it's kind of all of these in a tube. This is the Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator. My shade is medium deep. I also have the shade tan medium deep. So I have medium deep and tan medium deep. And the tan medium deep actually is a little bit lighter than the medium deep. So the tan medium deep actually is a nice shade for me now. This one feels like a moisturizer when you put it on. It does have some color. It does even out. It's probably the lightest coverage of my top 5. And it's really reasonable, very inexpensive. Okay, number 2, my top 2, I talk about all the time. It is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus. I should toss these and replace them though, because they are old. They're probably some of my oldest drugstore foundations. The one thing I don't like about them is they have a paddle. So they're old with the paddle, so that, you know, means my skin has touched it. So that's not very good. But I have Desert Beige, which is a good shade for me. That's in the just the regular foundation. And then I have their Dewy Luminous foundation in Golden Beige. So Desert Beige, a little bit deeper. Golden Beige, a little bit too light, I think, right now. I'm going to toss them, but I really want to remember, I will remember Desert Beige is my shade. Yeah, so I'm tossing them because they're old, but they are my number 2, even though I hate the little paddle to get that out. Which brings me to my number 1 foundation. I've talked about it all the time. It's what I'm going to wear today. It is the L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Foundation. It used to be here, and it used to not have a pump, but they've reformulated with the pump. My shade now is W6. I have a W4. I'm going to keep it. These are fairly new. I bought them right, like literally, they'd come out with the pump, but at the drugstore I was at, they didn't have the pump. So these are still new, but I love this foundation. I mean, I've been wearing it since I was in my 30s. So lots and lots of shades. Again, I'm the W6 now. I used to be W4. And it's just beautiful, medium coverage. It dries down. It doesn't transfer onto my phone. It doesn't rub off. It's very long wearing. It is my number 1 foundation. It's been my number 1 for a long time. And in fact, I'll just put some on right now because I don't have any foundation on. I use my fingers usually, but it's nice. You can apply it with a brush or with a sponge, and it's thin, so it doesn't feel heavy at all. It's very thin. Oops, did I get some on my hair? A little bit more. And it's buildable, so I need to make sure my nose gets covered. And it's not a powder finish at all, but when I apply it, it almost feels like, you know, it feels like it's going down to a powdered finish. Yeah, it's very lightweight. It doesn't feel like you're wearing foundation. It doesn't feel heavy on the skin. Yeah, it definitely is my number 1 drugstore foundation, L'Oreal True Match. Again, my shade is W6. Okay, super long video. Sorry about that. I hope you enjoyed my little speed review on all the foundations, and let me know down in the comments below if there's a drugstore foundation that you think I need to try. As always, I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.